Good evening. This is Guitars and Music. I discuss gear I'm familiar with. I discuss music that I love and reviews and so on, and also play the guitar some on the channel. So I hope you enjoy the channel. Subscribe if you get a chance. That would be great. But tonight I wanted to review a pedal board that I like, which is the Boss BCB-60 pedal board. It's a very good pedal board. I've had a number of different pedal boards over the years. When I was a kid, I didn't use pedal boards too much. Maybe it was I was economically challenged or didn't know that much. I had kind of a good amp and I played it loud. But I remember the guy I was playing with one day, he got some, I think it was a Tube Screamer. And he just started blowing me away with his sound, and those big, long, sustained notes. And I started to realize that no matter how good your amp is, a pedal board can really give you a lot of control and options. So a couple of things I look for when I look for a pedal board. Number one, I want it to have onboard power. I like to walk out of the store with the pedal board working, so I don't like a lot of assembly, and I don't even really know. People tell me it's not a big deal, but you can buy those kind of power blocks. But I like to buy them with the power built into the pedal board in the factory. So that's one of the things I look for. The other thing I like is I like a fairly simple pedal board. I don't want it to be really small, like almost just like a little bare bones pedal board. But I also don't want one of those, 15 pedal boards that you've got to be Tinkerbell with the tipsy toes to get in there and find the pedal you want. I like, having easy access to pedals. I like one row of pedals. The other thing is I like to be able to carry it like a briefcase. I like a briefcase pedal. I don't want to have to carry it like a tray. And I also don't want to carry it like a suitcase, that it's got two. So the pedal board that I like that has been good is the Boss BCB-60 pedal board. It's the best one I've found so far for those different needs. I'm not saying it's the best one, but for those things that I look for, it was by far the best option out there. So let's look a little bit at this pedal board. There's the pedal board. You can see that's me carrying it. So you can see there's my hand on it. It looks like a briefcase, so it clearly evokes the briefcase. It says Boss there. An interesting detail about the pedal board is you can't tell if it's upside down or not. I don't think it matters because the pedals, I'll open it in a minute, you'll see the pedals are pretty secure, but I like to keep it right side up so the face of the pedals are up and not down. So I wrote my initials there, and I can always tell which side is up. But you can see it looks a lot like a briefcase. It's got these latches, so you open the latch. One thing, this latch came off when I was playing last year. I was playing with another guy, and in the teardown, it got stepped on, and that came off. So not a big deal or anything, but I wish Boss would come up. The one thing I think Boss could do maybe a little bit better, maybe it would make it a little more expensive, is a little better latching system. But you open it up like this, and this pops off. Now look, you just pop those out, boom. Then you've got basically a flat board. You take the top off, put it somewhere. I turn it around, so when you open it up, there we go. There's my pedal board. It's a little bit messy in there. But you can see it's got the power in there. So it's a powered pedal board, and it's got the power up here. The guitar goes over here at input. Cable goes to the output, to the amp. And then you've got pedal boards. One interesting thing about the pedal board, I've got a slide bar there. One interesting thing about the pedal board is there's 6 slots. There's 6 slots, and when you get it, they'll pull these out. You take these out. These were originally in there, and they kind of cut them out. And there's 6 slots. So another thing about the pedal board is it's tailor-made for Boss pedals. If you buy the traditional Boss pedals, they'll fit in there like a glove. The Ibanez Tube Screamer is more or less the Boss footprint. I think it's this one's a little bit loose, but these Boss pedals fit like a glove. So one interesting thing, one issue you'll have, if you have 6 pedals, you have to decide. It's kind of a pedal survivor series. You have to decide what goes on there. So my must-haves are, I have 2 drive pedals. I have a Tube Screamer that's kind of light crunch for rhythms where you want some warmth. This thing does crank pretty good, but then I have the Angry Driver. That's for leads. So sometimes I use both. If I'm playing rock, I might have some distortion on kind of for rhythm. And then when I want to play lead, I crank this one, the Angry Driver. And then I definitely want a delay and reverb. So I've got the Boss RV-6 and the Boss DM2. The pedals, I always kind of, I'm never sure about. I put a tuner in there. Now, there are sometimes people might say an EQ. At one point, I had a little baby wah in there, and it was too. I just ended up buying. You can see it on my videos. I just ended up buying a regular old wah pedal, but I had a baby wah pedal in there, and I've had different things. I had a phase shifter here for a while. So you have to, you know, you can think of different pedals you might like. It's almost kind of fun, but I feel pretty good. Sometimes I think I might like to swap that tuner out for something else, but it's a good tuner. Let me just say, when you have these nice compartments up here, they're very nice. So it's a little bit of a shop. You get these cables with it, so that you know, you have these cables so that you know, you can connect the cables. I've got a little string winder and a slide bar. I've got a capo, which I never use on an electric guitar, but I guess I could. One other interesting thing is I did have a little tuner there. There's a Boss tuner that's kind of old. It's one of those little table tuners. It fits in there really well. The one they had was a T2 tuner. It fit in there, and I had it in there for a while, but it was kind of hard to see. If they came out with another one that was a little easier to see when you're standing up, I think I might go back to that. It was kind of nice, and it was always on, and then that cleared up this, would have cleared up this spot for the tuner. But this one's so much easier to see in a dark room or something. So if they ever come out with one of those little handheld tuners again, I have to consider it. But this is a good pedal board. I really recommend it. One other thing I would say about it, there's a battery. It's kind of messy in there, but it is nice to have some of those accessories there. You just plug it in and it turns on. One thing I would say, it's supposedly easy to assemble, but I would buy it at Guitar Center. I wouldn't get this in the mail or somewhere unless you're really handy. They did open it up and run some cables through there to set it up for me. I don't think it was hard to do, but I was glad they did it because I didn't want to get home and have anything other than to plug it in and play to worry about. So I took it to Guitar Center, and they were great. They helped me set it up. Very highly recommend buying it at a Guitar Center or someplace where they'll set it up for you. It didn't take them 5 or 7 minutes, but he did take there's some wiring in there. Some of the cables run through there, and I was glad I didn't have to mess with that. I don't think it's complicated. Some of you could probably do it, I'm sure, but I didn't want to, and I was glad they did it for me. So the pedal board is really nice. You can put whatever pedals you want in. So one of these days I'll do some reviews of these pedals. That RV-6 is nice. That Angry Driver is nice. Now here's another kind of, it's not really a drawback because Boss has such good pedals, but I like a fuzz. I wasn't too crazy about the Boss F5 fuzz. I had it in this slot for a while. I think they might be coming out with a new fuzz pedal. I prefer fuzz to overdrive or distortion. I'm not sure what the difference is, but whatever the difference is, I like fuzz. But I have my favorite fuzz is a Big Muff. And I had a little nano Big Muff in there, and I tried to put it in there, and the guy helped me, and it would work for a while, but because it was so much smaller than the footprint shape that the pedal board comes with, it kept slipping loose. So I finally came across this Angry Driver, and it's a very nice pedal, excellent. So I'll leave with a little clip so you can hear it in action. But you do, one thing about this pedal board is you'll want, I would say, Boss pedals. Now, when I bought it, and I see other people on the internet, there are people that you get a X-Acto knife and you can cut this to any size you want. I didn't want to do that. I mean, it's clearly designed for Boss pedals. It's a Boss pedal board for Boss pedals. So you'll see people, you can put some of those big kind of, shoebox sized pedals in there almost. You just have to cut into that Velcro or that padding, and I didn't want to do that. They told me people do it. I didn't want to do it. And Boss certainly has an array of pedals to pick from. So if you buy this, you're kind of committing to Boss pedals, I would say. Or there are a couple other companies that'll fit in there, but a lot of them don't. So, but that was fine with me because I happen to think Boss makes good pedals. That tremolo's nice. Like I said, I had a phase shifter in that spot for a while, but the tremolo is a nice pedal, and I like to use it sometimes. Put a little bit of the reverb and a little bit of tremolo on, you've got a Clint Eastwood spaghetti western sound. It's pretty nice. Maybe a little bit of the Tube Screamer, just to kind of, not much, just to kind of warm it up a little bit. But there you go. It's a nice little pedal board. There's not much to it. Just again, I recommend having someone set it up unless you're very handy. I don't think it's hard to do. But I don't like assembling things. I learned that when my kids were little, and you would buy things on Christmas morning, and you had to assemble it, and they would always say it was easy, and it was never easy. So, but the guy at Guitar Center, I don't think he took 5 to 7 minutes to do it, but I was glad he did it and not me. So, and it was right. So, once in a while these will come loose up here. See, they plug in with the 9-volt up there, but it's pretty nice. You don't need any batteries. You just plug it in. There's the power strip. You just plug it in, and all the lights come on, and you play. So, give you kind of a panoramic shot of it. And I highly recommend it. It would make a nice Christmas present for someone else or perhaps yourself. But it's nice. And you can carry it like a briefcase. Like I said, the one thing I wish they would do is maybe get a better latch system somehow. The problem, you need to be able to open it up and lay it on the floor like that. So it can't literally be a briefcase. So, but I'm glad I like the one row. I'm glad it doesn't have, 4 rows of, 9 different distortion pedals, a bunch of those big, Blue Sky Strymon delay pedals and so on. They're great, but this is just so easy, and this is set up for someone who wants to play live, and I like it's got one row. It's not on a funny angle. You don't have to there's not a second row back here. Some of those boards you have 2 and 3 rows of pedals, and some of them might be kind of pointing in one direction, and you really got to, I don't see the point. With the pedal board, everybody, you want some distortion, reverb, and delay probably for sure, and those are 3 things, and really that's a classic sound right there. And then maybe a complementary pedal or 2, like I have the tremolo. It's another nice thing about the tremolo, you can use that for like some of the early 60s sound, like the Hollies, stuff like that. The tremolo sounds really nice. So that kind of a warm, kind of wavering sound, and some of that old, Hollies, some of that old early Bee Gees type stuff. The tremolo sounds nice, but really all you need is a distortion, and so I don't see why people have these pedal boards with 12 different pedals on them. 6 is plenty. Like I said, they're actually, there are 1 or 2 spots on that pedal board. It's kind of, I have 6 slots, and 3 of them are for sure. The 2, I could go to a headstock tuner, right? And then because some of these headstock tuners are nice, and then I could free up, I wouldn't need this. However, those headstock tuners aren't that reliable. They're always running out of batteries. You pull one out, and somehow or another it ran out of batteries while it was in your case or something. This thing always works, so I've always kind of come back to it's nice to have a good tuner. This thing also is silent when you turn it on. It cuts your guitar out, and if you're playing a lot of places, they don't want to hear you tune. So those headstock tuners are good. Like I said, they're good when they work. I just they're almost disposable though. You go through one every couple gigs in my experience, and And that thing's just in there, you know, and I feel like it was worth the money. The tremolo, that spot, there are a couple different pedals I've looked at that I think I might like. Even something weird like a guitar synthesizer or something, free up a spot. I have to change the order around maybe a little bit. But, you know, at the end of the day, I like classic guitar, and the tremolo, it seems like the best one for that slot. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Boss BCB-60 Pedalboard. I do highly recommend it. It's a nice little pedal board. Very easy to carry around. Thank you. God bless you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.